Well, hello again. This is Dee talking, and I'm going to do another train video. I want to say thank you to everybody who has been following me. This past month I've gotten over 1,600 views. Most of them, about 95% or so, have to do with my Amtrak videos that I've done. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Glad it was helpful. For this video, I'm going to do questions and answers of some of the questions that I have gotten personally, or those comments that have come on my other videos, if that makes any sense. Put it all in one place. If you've got further questions, comment below. If you've got answers, also comment below. We're all in this together. This is for mainly long distance travel. I'm done with my long distance travel. For those of you, this is the first time, I have taken the 3 Amtrak trains cross country and back. I have been on, first I went on the California Zephyr almost 2 years ago, and then last spring I went on the Southwest Chief, and then this past December I went on the Empire Builder. So I have done that and back, and I have been over 20,000 miles on a train in the past year and a half. So I think I've got a little bit of experience, and I do travel with backpacks. I travel lightly and I travel cheap. So look at those other videos. I'm not going to get into all that and cost and the details. So here we go. I do have a cheat sheet over here of what people have asked. Who can travel? First off, I'm just going to say who can travel on Amtrak? Different size people, different abled people, different ages of people. Anybody. The answer is anybody can travel on Amtrak. I have been on Amtrak with people who are in wheelchairs. It's wheelchair accessible. You can do that. Make sure you ask for that. Make sure you get a seat on the bottom level. That's important. If you don't think you can climb up to the cross-country trains, do have you have to go through stairs, which can be narrow, and if you don't think you can get through there, or it's going to be uncomfortable for you to do that, they do have lower seats. So just request that. Everything's got to be requested. I see that more and more where people get disheartened and frustrated. I'm never going to ride the train again because XYZ. You have to ask for it. They don't know. They can't read your mind. They won't know until they show up. But, well, that seats get assigned ahead of time. So I have been on a train also with a newborn. Been on a train with kids. Been on a train all kinds of ages. I'm a senior citizen myself. And all kinds of ages, all kinds of countries. I've met people from around the world. Anybody can ride Amtrak. Okay? Number one. Number two, about the tickets. How early should you buy the tickets for the best price? Okay, the earlier the better. Some people say 11 months. I'm going to get some water real quick. Some people say 11 months. I've never done it more than 3 to 4 months ahead of time because I don't know what the weather's going to be, and if I really want to go, I get a good price. My thing is get a rail pass. Look at my video about rail passes. You can get 8 stops for 15 days for $459. Don't worry about any of that. The rail pass is the way to go. Now, the thing about tickets too, if you got connections, if you're going to have to make connections to get to a long distance train, make sure that you have plenty of time to make the other connection. A lot of people I know, actually most people I know, spend the night where there's a connection, so they don't have to worry about missing the train. Number one thing about Amtrak, love it to death. That's my favorite mode of transportation, but trains are late. We're not Europe, we're not Asia, we're not anywhere. American trains, Amtrak, count on them being late. And if they're on time, that's a plus. We actually got in early Empire Builder came back to Chicago early. We all clapped. I've never been on a train this early. So if you have a lot of anxiety about all this, please, what I want you to do or consider is spending the night. Then you've got plenty of time. What my comfort level is, and go by your own comfort level, what my comfort level is, having done this many times, is 2.5 hours. I have had a 2-hour layover, and that did upset me a little bit. I will say that. I got there in time, no problem. But for me, I like it 2.5 hours or more in case the train is late again. I have had to run to the next train. Wear comfortable shoes, by the way. So have that in mind. That the trains will run late. More than likely, the trains will run late. So make sure when you get your tickets that your tickets for your connections have you plenty of time. For me personally, like I said, it's 2.5 hours is my comfort level, or more. I won't go any smaller time than that. Okay? So that's mainly the thing about the tickets. Let's see what else I've written down. The connections are the biggest thing. When to buy the tickets, how to buy the tickets. I always go to I live in a city. I always go to a smaller station outside the city. They can give you more personalized service. That's my personal thing to do. They know me by name. I've traveled so much they know me by name when I walk in the door now. So I do try to get good deals that way. You can get, a lot of times you can get better deals when you go in person. That's not a question I get, that's something I'll throw out there. You get better deals a lot of times if you go in person and go to a smaller station when they've got time, when a train's not coming in and they don't have anything to do pressing. I mean, they always have something to do, but you know, train's not coming in or leaving. So, and ask your questions about that. Number 3. Oh, we're going to talk about coach versus getting a roomette or a bedroom. Which is better? Well, coach is cheaper. I can tell you that. Coach is cheaper. Depends on you as a person. You can do coach. I would say if you have to lie down, if you have any kind of physical problems, you have to lie down, at least get a roomette. If you're large, roomette fits. I do have a video about that. A roomette will fit you, I would say, 6 feet long, average build. I don't know what that would be. But there's not that much room. It's just like not even as big as a single mattress. It's a bunk bed. You get a bunk bed is what it is. So if you're larger than that, and it's easy, it's not much room, there's no turnaround room in it. If you need more room, go ahead and look into the bedroom. But I do coach. I've done both. I've done both ways. The advantage to having the bedroom or the roomette is that it is quieter, and you don't have a lot of up and down traffic, walking traffic. That's true. It's quieter. You do get your meals included in there. So you get meals. You get first thing in the morning, the car attendant will have juice and coffee for you. That doesn't cost any extra. Some will have snacks there too, which is always nice. So that they will have that. They do that for you. You do get showers. You don't get a shower in coach, but you take some stuff to wash off with, but you do get a shower. So you get a little bit more. So it's private. The drawback to that is that if you are by yourself particularly, and you like talking to people once in a while, you don't get as much interaction. Opportunities to really get to know people. You have to go up to the observation/lounge car to do that, which is where most people hang out anyway. But coach versus the roomette or bedroom, I would say it's individual. It's individual. I sleep better sitting up than I do lying down on a train. And so coach is fine for me. Coach is cheaper. Okay? So if money's a problem for you, consider that. It is workable. You have to move around more and do more exercise, I think, but it is workable. But it's individual. The next thing I could ask about food, carrying food on a train. You want to carry snacks. I wouldn't carry too many. There are opportunities on a long distance train to replenish your supply. I take it as, when I do pack food, I take it as I'm going backpacking. I make my own trail mix. The trail mix I make has peanuts, raisins, and M&Ms or chocolate chips. I usually try to do the M&Ms so they don't melt. I have done the chocolate chips, and I went to a hot place and it all melted. So so I know some people take jerky, protein food, peanut butter. Also, hot water is free on the Amtrak, so you can take the little meals that you have to mix. I took oatmeal this past time. People who backpack, people who do through hiking on the PCT or the AT or any of those trails, they have go to a outfitter store where they pour water into the meals and the bags. Do that. Carry those if you need to. If you're not in the dining car. If you're in the dining car, you're going to get fed really well. But I'm talking about coach travel. Just carry it. And then pack it. And then get hot water, mix it up, just like you're backpacking. It does work. I wouldn't carry a whole lot because when you get to where you're going, you'll have an opportunity to go to a store. I always carry a lot of bananas. I love bananas. I always carry a lot of bananas. People laugh, well, not laugh. That was a big thing in my car when I came back from Portland, Oregon this past December. I was like, she's got a bunch of bananas. Yeah, I went to the grocery store ahead of time. I bought some V8 juice and I bought bananas so I could have well-rounded meals in coach. Because it's not going to be well-rounded meals. Cafe car is not well-rounded meals. And it does get expensive. They have hot dogs, hamburgers, some have yogurt. I usually get the hot dog and get a yogurt because it's, quite frankly, it's the cheapest thing in there. You can get a muffin, that kind of thing, but it's not that good of food. It doesn't stick to your ribs, so to speak. So yes, you can bring food. They don't check it. You can bring food. Don't overkill. I did that on my second trip, and I got tired of lugging around a big bag of food, and I wound up in Washington, D.C., and I gave the bag to a homeless lady begging on the street. I got tired of lugging it around. And so that's what I did. Talking about lugging things around, talk about baggage. Question has come up about baggage. How do you store the baggage if you're on a layover? Or if you're in well, this was about a hostel. I do stay in hostels. What to do. If you're on a layover and you want to check out the city you're in, go to the baggage department. Amtrak has services in their baggage department. You're not going to check the bags. Be sure to say you're not going to check the bags. They will hold your bags for you for 24 hours for $10 a bag. $10 a bag per day, per 24 hours. They will hold your bag. It's well worth it. I had about a 6-hour layover. I'm just going to say 6-hour layover in Washington, D.C. one time. And I had, no, it's in New York. I had a whole day layover. Yeah, I had about a 6 or 7-hour layover in New York, Penn Station, back in November of this year. I wanted to walk away. Well, I just didn't want to mess with the bag right then. So I asked if they would hold it, paid them $10, and then I didn't have to drag it around with me when I went to see the sights in the city or just walk around Penn Station to get something to eat and that kind of thing. So they will do that. I have done that in Washington Union Station in Washington, D.C. That's my favorite station. I wanted to get out and see the Capitol and go on the mall, and I had about a 4-hour layover then. Use it. Go to the baggage department and say you want them to hold your bags for the day. Be sure you're not going to check them if you need them. Okay? Next question a lot of people ask, can you carry alcohol on the train? The answer is yes and no. You can carry it. You're not allowed, and they'll say that, they won't say you're not allowed to have it. The way it was presented to me on a train that I was on this year was you're not allowed to drink it if you're in coach. You can buy it. They do sell alcohol. They sell beer, wine, and spirits in the cafe car. It does get kind of expensive. They do sell it. If you are in a bedroom or roomette, you are allowed to drink it down there, allowed to have it out and drink it. So I will say, yes, you can carry it. You're not allowed to drink it. If you're in coach, you are allowed to drink it if you have a bedroom or roomette. And that's all I'll say about that. I have seen people drink in the observation car with a whole pint of liquor and nobody said anything. I won't say what train that is, but it's monitored accordingly. Some trains get monitored more than others. Depends on who the crew is, depends on the train, I think. So that's the answer to that. Just don't try to get on there with a whole case of beer. That kind of thing. Be discreet. If you're going to carry it, be discreet. Okay? Last thing I want to tell you, just etc. that I have. One thing I would like to suggest, long distance trains particularly, or if you go to overnight trains, wear compression socks. I would suggest this. Wear compression socks. Elevate your feet. The coach seats do have a way of elevation. The seats do come up so you can elevate your feet. If you're in a roomette or a bedroom, you can do that also. You can lie down. Be sure the feet are elevated. Be sure to have compression socks. Walk around frequently. That is to prevent edema. Stay hydrated to prevent edema. I always get edema. I had it when I went to the Arizona desert back last spring. I had it all the way up to my knees on both legs after I had been there a week. And yeah, that was not fun. So I've learned my lesson on that. So for right now, that's all I can think about. We're getting a little bit long. That's all I can think about with questions and answers that have come up. And I know you're planning your vacation, and you might have a ton of other questions. If you do, just comment below. I will get to them. I will answer them. Anybody else has another answer, that's fine. I can't give specific answers to all the trains. I've not been on them. They are different. Some trains will have a dining car. Some trains will not have a dining car. Some trains have dining cars, but you don't get the full meal. You get a box meal instead of a whole cooked old-fashioned way of dining like a restaurant. I don't know what trains are doing what. They're changing that the most. That's the number one cutback that's been happening, is in the food section. I have been on a train that didn't have a cafe car, it didn't have any food, and I was anticipating buying my hot dog and yogurt at the cafe car, and they didn't have that, wasn't open. I can't remember if it wasn't open or they didn't have it, but it wasn't available. So I had to ride several hours on one particular train. It wasn't even long distance, but I had to ride the train thinking I was going to get something to eat, and I wasn't. And I didn't have enough snacks because I was on my return trip. So I got caught short and I was hungry. So that does happen. So I hope this helps. Again, thank you everybody who has been following me and has liked and subscribed and viewed. I do appreciate this. Please share the information. Share these videos. I have other videos about Amtrak train. I have one about the rail pass. I have one about how I fared after my long distance train. I have one about the roomette and different hacks. I have one about just tips on what to take and hacks about that. So, and now this one is specifically trying to combine all the questions that I've had and ones that I have seen on other sites. So I hope this helps. And again, enjoy your travels and happy rails.